Just as a preface to this video, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch is probably, if not surely, my favorite entry in the series. The amount of creative characters on the roster, each with their own unique callbacks to their respective franchises, the seamlessly endless possibilities of multiplayer, the extra modes that are fun as a change of pace in the main action. Regardless, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a fantastic game.
And now I'm gonna tell you why it fucking sucks competitive.
To start, I'm going to be using the infinitely popular MOBA, League of Legends, made by Riot Games as a comparison as to why I hate Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on a competitive level, and why I think it'll just never be fixed. So this may double as a video as to why I hate League of Legends nowadays, and no, I'm not going to go through another preface spiel about how I truly love League of Legends. No, the game actually is just really, really bad. I hate it. But anyways, the number one thing that sets me off with these popular games is how frequently they're changed. That's it. Now that on its own may sound like I'm being a huge bitch and nitpicking, but nay, I say. There is a lot more to what I dislike about frequently changing games than just the fact that it changes, well, frequently, which may sound a little funky. How frequently a game is changed alters the scope of what is seen as overpowered or unfair. I frequently look at games as analog or freestyle as League of Legends or Ultimate in a different light than even other fighting games like Dragon Ball FighterZ or the recently popular Guilty Gear Strive, solely because of the variance in the amount of total outcomes just due to the game's playstyle. For example, the amount of information you don't know as a jungler due to the fog of war in and of itself makes it so that there's plenty of variance possible in terms of the objectives and positioning to where each match can feel unique. Therefore, in my eyes, I see that as an aspect of the game that would have been forever difficult but intriguing to push to its micro and macro limits. However, things that seemed unfair were constantly changed, all while being in a realm where new and excitingly broken but somehow always stereotypical characters continue to be released every couple months to send a new meteor crashing down onto Summoner's Rift. When you, as a new player, finally begin to get the idea of how the game works on a mechanical level, you are soon met with the realization that your game could turn on its head in the matter of a single new patch. As a person who enjoys the aspect of building proficiency in these hyper-difficult games, I find it difficult to understand the thought process behind fine-tuning these incredibly deep games that clearly have so much to discover beneath the surface level strategies. It's essentially bailing out the people who complain about something they don't want to find a solution to. With how many matchups present that need to be learned and explored already based off of the simple math from the character roster, it seems redundant to continue to force the players to know every change happening to every character. I don't want to keep reading a textbook that changes the curriculum every couple months. Now, to compare the way that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate plays and is balanced to the way that League of Legends is would be silly. You click in this one and use the fucking stick in this one. Jokes aside though, I truly can't prove my point against Ultimate by ragging on League of Legends, simply because of how they both play mechanically. What you balance in a game where you can only move your character in such a confined way is much different than in a game where quick movement and flair is a fundamental way to establish advantages. But the overarching principle is still the same. With how many characters Nintendo plans to push into this game, including Minecraft Man and anime titties, there is bound to be some sort of rage and backlash from the competitive side of the game, complaining that their character isn't strong enough in relation to the rest of the cast. Hell, you try balancing a game of any genre with 80+ characters. Exactly. It's like borderline impossible. This leads to every competitive fan you have dressing up and doing their best game designer impression as they stroll to r/Smash Bros to unleash the rage they have that their dear Banjo isn't getting buffed again. Buffs and nerfs in my eyes are easy cop-outs to satisfy your player base. This doesn't allow for the way the game is built to fundamentally guide your enjoyment through getting better as a player. You rely on the month-to-month balance patch to see if this installment of your favorite game is fun enough for you to truly enjoy. Gamers nowadays believe that they're entitled to an enjoyable time in every competitive experience, no matter what their personal proficiency is.
Hey! Don't touch me!
If the goal of the game is to make every character the same in strength, you're fighting a losing battle because the players need much longer time than one would usually be willing to bear with to really get to the nitty-gritty in terms of what exactly makes a character overpowered. Take Ultimate's great-grandfather, for instance, Super Smash Bros. Melee on the Nintendo GameCube. In a game that hasn't changed over the course of 20 years, you would think that the competitive players have a pretty good grasp as to what balance is. And the answer to that assumption is yes, they do have a very solid foundation as to what has specific advantages over something else. But, at the same time, they're just as confused about their own game's characters as the former games I mentioned. But the difference lies in that it is solely left up to the players to discover the concrete answers to their own questions. Melee is the best happy accident I think I've ever seen, and is a shining example of how players can show just how good they are at the game, regardless of what character they're playing and how good it is in relation to the one across from them. As reference, Mewtwo is typically seen around here on the tier list. Not great. Sure, as a Mewtwo main, you'll go on to unranked and get bopped around by a spamming Falco, but the character tiers and immediate balance of the matchups are to a degree only on the surface level. Up until you're reaching top tier status as a player in terms of game knowledge and how to take advantage of certain game situations, you can play Mewtwo as much as you want, and have quite a lot of fun doing it. I'm more terrified of a Mewtwo who knows everything about where and how I'm going to tech roll than a stupid Falco who can shoot some lasers and spam down on the C-stick. It's so clear when you're playing somebody grossly better than you. And this theory even exists among the inner circle of the top 5 best characters. Any player proficient enough could win with moves taken off of their kit, like a Falco without lasers or a Captain Falcon without knee, solely due to the fact that they understand every fiber about how the fundamentals of the game work. The precedent that people are only going to play the characters who have glaring advantages over others is sadly misguided, especially in a game as expressive as Super Smash Bros. In the competitive space of Ultimate, it's sad to hear people point out that their reason for losing is the clear unbalance of the character across from them. Being a primarily melee player myself, I have been conditioned into the mindset that when I lose, it's my fault. And that on its own is beautiful to see in a game, because it gives clear goals and aspirations that continue to push you beyond the player that you were the day before. Though, in an ever-changing game, it's tough to see how anybody is going to be able to think like that, when a certain combo that they've labbed for hours in training mode simply gets taken out of the game because it was deemed too overpowered. If given enough time, it's inevitable that players are going to push past these proclaimed unbeatable strategies. All in all, I can't find myself pursuing a competitive game like League of Legends or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate when I feel like it might change on me tomorrow. When I feel like something that I've put hundreds of hours into could switch up on me when I least expect it, deters me from wanting to push it past any sort of casual competitive level. And I know those two words may not seem like they should go together at all, but that's what Ultimate is to me. And I kinda love it for that. Thanks for watching.